We're going to learn specially tonight for Zevachim Daf, Nachman Yaakov ben Sarah, who's having a procedure tomorrow. He should have a refuah shalema b'seich she'achel Yisrael. It should go easy, successful, and you should be back, right back in Yetz Hashem. Amen. We're sponsored by the Frankel family, Lili Nishmas Yisrael Tzvi Ben Chaim Yeshua Falek, by Berish Gesseman, L'Refuah Shalema, for Shoshana Basadina Chana, by Baruch Ian Lili Nishmas Yaakov Chaim Ben Abba Esther Bas Yonah Avram Ben Shmuel HaKohen, L'Refuah Shalema for Liba Bas Anya by A.B. Spry. We're sponsored for the spiritual, emotional, and physical protection for Yeshua Menachem Mendel, Ben Bela Sheindel Rivka. We're sponsored by Shalom Fogel, Lili Nishmas Yaakov Zeb Ben Yehuda Aye, Rivka Bas Yaakov Yosef, Tibi Miriam Bas God, Yosef Ben Tziyam and Yaakov Zeb, L'Refuah Shalema for Moshe Aye Ben Binyamin, and for a great shidduch for Chayet Tzivya Bas Shoshana Gittel. We learned for Zevachim Daf, Aaron Ben Sarah. You should have a refuah shalema b'seich she'achel Yisrael. We start the new parak now. Gittel Bas Devorah should have a refuah shalema b'seich she'achel Yisrael. Mordechai Tzvi ben Rus Chana should have a refuah shalema. We start the new parak. Those that have the art scroll should certainly use it tonight, because the pictures are very, very helpful. If you do not have an art scroll, you could look in with somebody that does have an art scroll. It will help you immensely to be able to use the pictures. Now, we said that kachim have to be slaughtered to the north of the Mizbeach. What about on top of the Mizbeach? So says the Mishnah, kachim sheshachtan b'roish ha-Mizbeach, kachim that was slaughtered on the top of the Mizbeach. He says that the whole top of the Mizbeach has a din of north, and it's a good shechita. Rabbi Yehuda says we bisect the altar in half. The northern part of the altar is good, the southern part of the altar is no good. From half of the Mizbeach to the south is Kedarim, it's like the south, and Mechatz Mizbeach l'tzafin Ketzafin, and half of the Mizbeach to the north is like the north, and that would be good. Amar Rav Asi, Amar Rav Yochanan, Aimer Hayu Rav Yaisi. Rav Yaisi held that the entire Mizbeach is situated on the northern part of the Azara. So that's why it's good on the entire Mizbeach, because he holds that the entire Mizbeach is situated to the north of the Mizbeach. Amar Rav Asi, Amar Rav Yochanan, Aimer Hayu Rav Yaisi, Kula Mizbeach b'tzafin kai. Or my Ke'ilu. Then why does it say Ke'ilu? It's as if it was in the tzafin. Then it physically is in the tzafin. Says the Gemara the same about Inon al Yerech. Since it says in the pasuk al Yerech ha-Mizbeach on the side of the Mizbeach, I might think you need taka on the side. V'leka k'mash malan, that it's good. Amalei Rav Zera l'Rav Asi. So Rav Zera said to Rav Asi, Elamiatul Rav Yaisi Rav Yehuda Hachanami Dechetzi b'tzafin v'chetzi b'dar. Is it so simple that the opinion of the opposing opinion of Rabbi Yaisi Rabbi Yehuda is simply that the geography of the Mizbeach is that it's half in the north and half in the south, and that's why the northern part is considered tzafin and the southern part is no good. The chitei machanami, you'll say that is it so easy? No way. Va'atu the amit mishmei Rabbi Yochanan. You said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Maida Rabbi Yaisi Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yaisi Rabbi Yehuda said, Shem shachnad knegdon bekarka, that if you shechted corresponding to the area on the top, on the ground, which the Gemara is going to say, is, let's say they shortened the Mizbeach. And there was an area then that would have been the Mizbeach, but it's on the ground. Shim shachton kenegdon bekarka psula. He agrees that wherever it is, it's no good. But if half of it is in the north, then in the place that's in the north, if they shorten the Mizbeach and it's on the ground, it should be good. Amalei, no, hachi kam Rabbi Yochanan. This is the way Rabbi Yochanan explains the machlokes. Shneya mikra echad darshu. They both expounded the same pasuk. It says in the pasuk, "V'zavachta olav," you should slaughter upon the altar. Now, olav means on top of it. V'zavachta olav es oiloisecha ve'esh loimecha. Your burnt offering and your peace offering. Now, remember, a peace offering is kachim kalim. That doesn't need the north. An oila is kachim. It needs the north. So you should shecht on it your burnt offering and your peace offering. Rabbi Yossi Savar, Rabbi Yossi is of the opinion that it means that the top of the Mizbeach is eligible for your oila and for your shlam. The whole top is eligible for the shlam. Savar kulay la'oila, the kulay l'shlam. While Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda Savar, no. It precisely uses oila secha ushlamecha to tell you half is good for the oila, because half is like north, and half is only good for shlamim, because half is like the south. Chetzi l'oila v'chetzi l'shlamim. These hokadait the kula l'oila, because if it would be good completely for the oila, then why does it have to say shlamecha? If you could shech the oila, which is kachim, you could surely shech the shlamim. These hokadait the kula l'oila kasher, hash the kula l'oila kasher, kula l'shlamim abai. Why do you have to tell me shlamim? Rather, it must be that it's telling you the half is good for an oila, because half is like north, and the other half is only good for a shlamim, because it's like the south. The idach, he says, no. It means the whole mizbech is good for the oila. You asked a very good question. If the whole mizbech is good for an oila, then why does it bother saying shlamim? If it's good for an oila, which is kachim, it's surely good for a shlamim. The idach itzrich sokadai techamina. You know why you're allowed to shecht an oila on top of the mizbech? Because since the area for an oila is restricted to only one side of the Hazara, only on the north, sometimes it's tight. And therefore we allow you to do it on top of the Mizbeach. So it's tight for space. Aval shlamim, which could be done all over the Hazara, it's not, you're not tight for space. I might think that you can't do it on top, kamash malan. Okay, now we're going to analyze. We said that if you did it instead of on top of the Mizbeach, in its place, it's no good. What do you mean in its place? What does that mean? Gufa, Amar Rav Asi, Amar Rav Yochanan, Moidi Rav Yossi, Rav Yehuda, Shim shachtan kenegdon bekarka. If you shechted it in its place on the ground, psulois. What does that mean? What does it mean in its place on the ground? Are you saying that if you shechted on the ledge or on the base, that's no good? The amma of the base and amma soivev and amma of the ledge. Why is that? That's not connected on bekarka. That also has a din of the top of the mizbeach. Hai gufi mizbeachu. And then it also wouldn't fit into the literal language of connect on mekarka. Void might connect on mekarka, corresponding on the ground. That's not on the ground. Oh, maybe you'll say, this was Herschel's second guess, maybe you'll say you dug a tunnel under the mizbeach and you shechted under the mizbeach in that tunnel. You made a tunnel under the mizbeach and shechted it there. That's surely no good. Could that be considered mizbeach? Even if you shechted it on the mizbeach, but the mizbeach was built over a tunnel or on the top of an arch, that's no good. Vatanya is mizbach adama tasali, a mizbech that's attached to the virgin soil. It can't be built on a tunnel, keeping that on top of arches. So rather, the pshat is like I told you, if for some reason they made, instead of the mizbech being 32 by 32, they made it narrower. So now you have this space instead of the mizbech. If you put it on that space, it would be possible. Says the Gemara, is it possible that there's an opinion of Rabbi Yossi that the entire Mizbeach is situated in the north, and we don't learn it anywhere in Shas? That's a pretty important opinion, that the whole Mizbeach is shifted over to the north of the Azara. Is it possible we have such an opinion and it's not stated anywhere? Amar Reb Zeira ef she'isa lahad Rav Yochanan v'loy tanina la b'masnisa, and it's not taught anywhere in the Mishnah. So nafik dak ve'eshkach. They went out, they analyzed. In those days they couldn't do a computer search, so that means that they actually went through Shas. Right? Took them a half an hour or so. Today we have a few buttons we could push. Right? We could put in the search. Where does it say that the Mizbeach is completely in the north? They didn't have those buttons, but they had the buttons up here. They had the human brain. Right? So it says in Gemara, Nafik, they went out, Dak ve'eshkach. They looked into it and they found it. To Tanan. Now, here we're going to learn some important facts about the top of the altar. As I told you, we'll have a whole Masechta about this, Masechtas Midas, Masechtas Tamid. On the top of the altar, there were 3 pyres, 3 different fires. There was the major pyre, the Marach G'dayla, that they burnt on it all the fats, the kidneys, the lobe of livers, the fats, the meat of the oila. Then there was a secondary pyre, which they made the coals, they manufactured the coals on it to bring into the Kodesh Kodashim. To bring into the Kodesh, to burn the incense on the Mizbeach Hazar. On Shabbos, they manufactured extra coal in order to burn the Shnei Baziche Levina, the 2 spoonfuls of frankincense from the Lechem Aponim. That's the second pyre. There was a third pyre where they kept the perpetual flame that was always on the Mizbeach. So now we're going to learn about the second pyre, the one that was used to manufacture the coals that would be brought into the Kodesh to burn the daily Ketoras, the daily incense. So says the Gemara, the Tanan, and this is a Mishnah in Tamid, the Tanan, Beiruru Misham Atzei Te'ena Yafim. They went into the Lishkas Eitzim, the chamber of wood, and they chose very fine fig wood, L'sadem Maracha Shniya Shel Ketoras, to set up the second pyre, that they manufactured the coals for the incense, and it was situated Keneged Keren Maravis Draimus. It was situated opposite the southwestern corner, Moshuch Min HaKeren Klapei Tzafon, drawn away from the horn towards the north, Arba Amos, 4 Amos. And we're going to see that this location was precise. It was drawn away from the horn, 4 Amos. How much wood would they put on? Ba'omed Chamesh Sam Gechelim, estimated to manufacture about 5 sa of coals for the burning of the incense, or b'Shabbos, where they also needed coals to burn the baziche levina, the spoonfuls of frankincense from the lechem apanim, or b'Shabbos ba'omet shmeina sa'im gechalim, they would manufacture 8 saw of coals. Shesham ha'yunaisnim, because over there they would put shnei baziche levina shel lechem apanim, the 2 spoonfuls of frankincense from the lechem apanim. Says the Gemara, umay simona, and now the Gemara asks, why was the location of this pyre exactly 4 amas to the north from the southwestern corner? What was the reason for this location? So the Gemara says, Rabbi Yossi, the Tanya, from Melinda and Brisa, they fasten your seatbelts, Rabbi Yossi, because this is a little technical. The Tanya, Rabbi Yossi Aimer, Zeh Siman, or as the Gemara says, Zeh Siman Biyadcha. This is the understanding, the rule that you should have in your hand. Kol anitel bifnim, whatever is taken out from inside, linosein b'chutz, to put on the outside. We only put it what is nearby, that there is nothing nearer than it. In other words, we put it in its nearest place. And whatever is taken from outside, to put on the inside, we don't take it except from that which is near, that there's nothing nearer than it. So, okay, this was very ambiguous. So the Gemara says, what does it mean? Whatever is taken from inside to put on the outside. So our first thought is that it's referring to the blood of Yom Kippur, or of the other inner chatois, which after you apply the blood on the inside, you take the rest of the blood outside and put it on the base of the Mizbeach. So the Gemara says, Ilay Shirayim, that we don't need a whole song and dance. We know the Shirayim is taken out and put at the closest place, which is the side of the Mizbeach by the Pesach Oil Ma'id, by the door of the Oil Ma'id, which is the western base, which is closest to the door. That we know. That we don't need we don't need a Chiddush. Ilay Meshirayim behed yiksibu. It says it outright. Al Yisoid Mizbach Ha'oila, to the base of the Mizbeach Ha'oila, outside Mizbeach Asher Pesach Oil Ma'id, which is the western base, fronting the door. Furthermore, V'su kol anita b'chutz linasim b'fnim, whatever is taken from outside to be brought inside, ma'niu. So you'll say, well, we bring coals from outside, inside, into the Kodesh Kodashim to smoke up the Keteris on Yom Kippur. Says, and again, we don't need any such teaching. That's again in Beferish Pasuk. We take a shovel full, and it says Beferish in the Pasuk, Hashem, from before Hashem, which means right in the west, which is right before the door of Hashem. So that can't be what we're referring to over here. Ella, whatever is taken from inside to put outside, that's referring to the 2 spoonfuls of frankincense that were inside and taken outside to be put on the Mizbeach. The 2 censerfuls of frankincense of the lechem apanim, the gomrei mishirayim, that we learn out from the shirayim, that just like that's put right in the closest place, so this also is put in the closest place. And hanito b'chutz linasim b'fnim, and that which is taken from outside to be brought inside, that's referring to the gecholim, the kol yuma v'yuma, the coals that we take from the second pyre every day, from outside to inside to burn the ketairos on the mizbeach hazav. The gamram megecholim shel Yom Kippurim, that we learn them from the coals of Yom Kippur. Okay, so now we have to explain why this location, 4 amas off the northwestern corner, right? Sorry, 4 amas off the southwestern corner, Karen Maraba's drivers, 4 amas off the southwestern corner. Why is that closest to going inside or coming outside? Why is that closest? So now it starts. Omai kasavar. I kasavar kulei mizbeach badorim koi. If the entire mizbeach is shifted off to the southern side of the mizbeach, so if it's shifted off all the way to the southern side of the mizbeach, that means the entire mizbeach is on the southern part of the azara. So then, and it has to be that when you come out of the heichel, the door of the heichel, you come to the you come to the mizbeach, straight to the mizbeach. If that's the case, so then esrim v'sheva boy l'meis. Then the how far would it have to be to go away from the southwestern corner to get to the middle of the doorway of the heichel? It would have to go 27 amas. 27 amas away from the southwestern corner in order that it should be able to, if you're coming out of the door of the heichel, you should be able to hit the mizbeach. You would have to go over at least 27 amas from the southwestern corner. Now you'll say, oh, maybe it doesn't have to correspond to the inner doorway of the heichel. It only has to correspond to the outer doorway of the ulam. Now, if it has to correspond to the outer doorway of the ulam, so that gives you an extra 5 amas leeway, because the doorway of the ulam is bigger, is wider. So then instead of 27 amas, you would have to at least bring it from the southwestern corner 22 amas. V'inami kasav kedushas heichel v'ulan chadi, that the kedusha of the heichel and the antechamber is one, and it could be opposite the door of the ulam, which is wider, so it gives you an extra 5 amas. Then esim v'tate boy maisi. Then you would only have to bring it. You would have to bring it all the way over the pyre, 22 amas from the southwestern corner. Not that, like you're saying, 4 amas. So then, now we'll try another possibility. Now you'll tell me, okay, so maybe the mizbeach is situated half in the north and half in the south. It's not all the way over to the. It's not all the way over to the south. It's situated half in the north and half in the south. And if you have a art scroll, that would be diagram C.
Rebbe, I put it on the WhatsApp.
Oh, very good. Very good. So if somebody needs the diagrams, Dr. Black put it on the WhatsApp. That's excellent. But again,
Get smaller, put it up on the screen.
What?
You get smaller, put it up on the screen. on the screen so you can look at it while we're viewing.
So then why don't I see it?
No, it's in the chat dialogue.
Sure, but I should be able to see that, no?
You have to click on the chat, and then you'll see it. But I don't think you could either, I think, put the pictures or yourself. I'm not sure if you could split a screen.
Yes, I can. But you can't see me pointing at it, can you?
Yeah, it's
I'm not talking to you.
I don't know the technique.
You don't see me pointing to it, do you?
No.
Okay, but I see it on the chat. Very good.
Rav shares the screen, we might be able to see that.
Okay, but it's not necessary. As long as I could, if you have the pictures and I could refer you to it, that is more than enough. The Gemara says, again, we're holding by the final narrow line on Nun Ches Amud Beis. The Ika Savar, if we'll say that the Mizbeach, the physical location of the Mizbeach, is Chetzia B'Safin v'Chetzia B'Darim. It's half on the northern side and half on the southern side. Now, if that's the case, so then the southwestern corner is 11 amas to get to where the door of the Heichel begins. To get to, that should be able to bring it out directly. So then you would have to put the pyre not 4 amas off the southwestern corner, but 11 amas. So v'yika savar chetzi b'tzafin v'chetzi b'darin chad sarboy l'meisei. You would have to bring it 11 amas. And if you'll tell me that we don't have to count the door of the inner heichel, but we could count the door of the ulam, which was wider, so we could deduct another 5 off that 11. So then we would have to bring it 6 amas. That's diagram D. We'd have to bring then shit by the Macy. Then you would have to bring it 6. But we learned you have to bring it 4. Elalav, it must be. Mishum de Kasavar Kulim Mizbeach B'Tzafan Kai. It must be that the whole Mizbeach is situated in the north. And the whole Mizbeach is situated in the north. So then it could be brought out directly to the corner. So then why do we need 4? Why do we need to bring it the pyre 4? V'hani arba amas is not that it should be in front of the door, but we need 4 amas because we can't put it. We're not putting the pyre on the amma of the side. We're not putting the pyre on the amma of the ledge. We're not putting the pyre on the amma of the corner, and we're not putting on the next amma because that's where the Kohanim walk, right? So that's why we have to bring it out 4 amas, as the Gemara says. Allah mishum de kisav kulim mizbeach b'tzafin kai. V'hani arba amas is the amma yesod, is because we can't put it by the amma of the base. V'amma sover, the amma of the ledge. V'amma makom kramas, the amma where there is the horn. And v'amma makom ragalei kanim, we need a walkway of the kanim. Now, we can't push it more than 4 amas, because if you notice in picture E, if the Mizbeach, or even picture F delineates it even clearer, if you would go more than those 4, then you would miss the entrance of the Heichel. Then it won't be directly from the entrance of the Heichel. So you could only do it, you have to, the Ichi Mizke L'Kamei Tvei, Suleka Pesach. It's not in front of the door anymore. So Rav Ada bar Ava says, well, I'm not forced to say that it's going according to Rabbi Yossi, because this could be the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Amar of Ada bar Ava Homani Rabbi Yehuda. The Tani Rabbi Yehuda Aimer Mizbeach Mimutza v'Aimed be'emtza Hazar. The Mizbeach was situated smack in middle of the Hazar. Smack in middle of the Hazara. Now remember, the Mizbeach was 32 amas wide. So of those 32 amas, let's see it inside. The Tani Rabbi Yehuda Aimer Mizbeach Mimutza v'Aimed be'emtza Hazar. Ushloishim ushtayim amas hayaloi. It had 32 amas. Eser amas hayul. Eser amas hayul. Excuse me. Ushtayim eser amas hayaloi. Eser amas keneged pischei shaleichel. There were 10 amas that corresponded to the door of the heichel. And then achas esrei ama mekan, 11 amas on one side. V'achas esrei ama mikan, and 11 amas on the other side. That's the way we eat up the space of the length of the length of the mizbeach was 32 amas. 10 amas were paralleled the inner heichel 10 amas, with 11 amas on either side. Nimtza mizbeach muchuven keneged heichel. So the Gemara says, Saif, if it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda, you need to bring it from the southwestern corner 11 amas in order to get it to be flush against the Pesach. Saif Rabbi Yehuda chad sari ba'il meisei. And if you hold that v'yikasavar kedushas heichel v'ulam chada milsei, so you'll deduct from the 11.5, it'll be 6. Shit by Lamese. Says the Gemara, you're right. He holds the Kedusha of the Ulam and the Kedusha of the Heichel is 1. And since you have an extra 5 amas, so instead of 11 amas, it would only have to be brought 6 amas from the corner. Our Mishnah says 4, because when our Mishnah says 4, it's not counting the Yesod and the Soivev. Mi savrid hani arba amas ba'adi ama Yesod v'ama Soivev. Arba amas was bar ma'ama Yesod v'arba ma'ama Soivev. It's besides the ama Yesod and the ama Soivev. Says the Gemara, but why are you so dead set to say it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda? V'nukma ka Rabbi Yosi. Say it's going to according to Rabbi Yosi uba mumtza. And Rabbi Yosi would hold that it's in the middle of the courtyard. Why do you say it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda? Says well, you're right. We could, but it's Rabbi Yehuda who we know holds this opinion. Mishim de Rabbi Yehuda shemanale mamutza behadia. We know that Rabbi Yehuda holds that it's in the middle. Okay, Rabbi, so we'll stop over here. This was a very technical piece of Gemara, and again, we were very glad to have the pictures. Maybe tomorrow, Yitzi, if you could figure out tomorrow how I could actually share the screen and use the pointer like I did in Erevin and point to it, it would be even more exciting. So maybe we'll try to figure that out for tomorrow. We're going to do the Mishnah Yomis now, Rabbi said, because I wasn't here today to do the Mishnah Yomis. And remember to...
Were we all welcomed in tonight?
Oh, no, we weren't. So most people we do welcome in over here, as we welcome in Saba, Dr. Black, Irving Fishbaum, Yaakov Warman, Ruven Pollack, Baruch Ian, Eddie Chazan, Dr. Guy, Yisrael Fisher, Yitzi Fuchs, Shelley Zeitlin, Rebellia Yaffe, Marshall Castle, Yitzi Muller, Berish Gesseman, Nachman Chapler, Stephen Holtzman, Moshe Lehman, Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg, Naftali Jablin, Abe Arbach, Avram Rezepkowitz, Ilya Shutman, and of course, Barry Cement. And here we have Reb Halpert and Chaim Kramer and Ruvain Shannon, Michal Avram Chavin, Danny Vogel, Herschel Waldner, and we had Yehuda Solomon, and now we're going to do the Mishnah Yomis.